This is the L2C Media Network on YouTube. And this is Sports Final with Steve the Baxman Baxley. You want to do that again? We lost the countdown. There we go. Okay. Now, this is the L2C Media Network, and this is Sports Final with Steve the Baxman Baxley. Brought to you by, as usual, William Hill Sportsbook. Let's make it interesting. And the official, unofficial TV station for the for Sports Final, among other shows that we do. WLNS TV 6. We're here for you. And now, speaking of being here for us, here's a man that brings the headlines into focus, Steve the Baxman Baxley. All right, thank you very much, Harry. Good evening, everybody. I did this last night, so I hope Mandy Summers isn't mad, but I gotta say it. Today, once again, it's a like what day. I thought I'd give it a shot. Now, only one person could do it with gusto and with chutzpah, and that's Mandy Summers. So to her, we say, you got it. You got the pipes. Anyway, like what indeed. Not much in the malign of, wow, we had two people watching. Now we got one. Come on, two. Let's get some more people watching this little bon mot of a broadcast. Okay. Yeah. I had something I wanted to say, but I think I'm going to save that for later on in the broadcast. You know, so we still are low budget. I got to find out actually if one of the streaming services can sort of help us. You know, maybe one day when I get this all cleaned up, we're gonna, officially, upgrade ourselves to high budget. Someday we will. But anyway, we welcome you to Sports Final. And wow. How about today? I mean, my gosh. It hurts when people lose their jobs, but when they lose their jobs in an unusual way, it burns. And we'll talk more about that when we head on into the media room. But right now, we got sports. Let's do it. Let's do it too, baby. We also got, Speed Weeks in Daytona. And that was an exciting race. The Busch Clash was tonight, and amazing. And we will give you all that and a lot more. So let's get to it. Some headlines. Let's go first to baseball, and the Hot Stove League had a little time to simmer, but now things are perking up. And trust me, if you are baseball fans, you will love this. In about 1 week, spring training camps will open across Arizona and Florida. The Cactus League and Grapefruit League play is tentatively to begin in less than 3 weeks. Thank God for that. So now, what are the rumblings? Who's going where and why and how much? Well, let's go to it. The New York Mets and free agent infielder Jonathan Villar agreed to a 1-year, $3.5 million deal, according to Major League Baseball Network's John Heyman. 29-year-old Villar is coming off a very down year, but then again, aren't we all? After all, it was 2020, and baseball only had 60 games. In 2019, with the Baltimore Orioles, Villar looked solid, hitting .274, .339, and .453. Villar, a switch hitter, will likely fill in as a super utility player for the Mets in 2021. He can play second, third, shortstop, and the outfield, as well as help on the base paths thanks to his speed. And we got some more for you. The top remaining unsigned free agent is third baseman Justin Turner. And it was widely expected that Turner would re-sign with the reigning World Series champs, the Los Angeles Dodgers. With just a few days until spring training, there's no deal in place, according to the Athletics' Ken Rosenthal. Turner is garnering interest from the New York Mets, but the two sides are not agreeing on the number of years and the dollar amount. New York traded for the All-Star shortstop Francisco Lindor. By the way, love his chocolate. This winter, Jeff McNeil is expected to return to his natural position at second. Pete Alonso appears to be a lock at first, especially since there won't be a universal DH in 2021. But third base is not a lock with Luis Guillorme and J.D. Davis expected to compete for a starting spot. Davis has been mentioned in trade rumors, but Rosenthal notes that the club is unsure of what Davis would get in a potential return. The Milwaukee Bucks are also intrigued by Turner. Mike Exla of CBS noted the Brewers as a top alternative to the Dodgers for Turner, citing that the club is in serious need of infield improvement even after their Colton Wong signing this winter. Now, 36-year-old Turner has been a mainstay with the Dodgers since he signed with the club as a free agent in 2014. He fared well in the abbreviated 2020 season, slashing .307, .400, and .460 with 4 home runs, 9 doubles, 23 ribs in 175 plate appearances. San Francisco Giants signed left-handed reliever Jake McGee to a 2-year contract worth $7 million, according to John Heyman of the MLB Network. McGee was dominant with the defending World Series champion Dodgers last season after the Rockies were released during summer camp. R.J. Anderson from CBS Sports did not rank McGee among his top 60 free agents. Wow. San Francisco has been one of the most active teams in baseball this season. McGee is their 7th major league free agent signing, joining John Bribria, Kurt Casale, Anthony Giaffini, Tommy LaSella, Matt Weiser, and Alec Wood. They also welcomed Kevin Gausman back via the qualifying offer. Meanwhile, the Marlins have signed outfielder Adam Duvall to a 1-year contract. The deal is believed to be worth $4.5 million. The Braves hired Duvall early this winter rather than pay him a projected $4.7 million through arbitration in 2021. The Marlins can retain him as an under-team control as an arbitration-eligible player in 2022. 32-year-old quietly finished 3rd in the National League with 16 home runs in 2020. He's a right-handed hitter who has historically done more of his damage against lefties. And does that mean he boo-boos on righties? I don't know. He's a sneaky, excellent defender. Now, Duvall has been worth plus 42 defensive runs saved in a little over 4,000 career innings in the outfield. He figures to share corner outfield time with Corey Dickinson and Garrett Cooper this summer. Now, Milwaukee Brewers signed veteran starter Jordan Zimmerman to a minor league deal for the 2021 season, the team announced Tuesday. The 34-year-old will receive an invitation to spring training. During the abbreviated 2020 season, Zimmerman was limited to just 3 appearances for the Detroit Tigers due to a forearm injury, none lasting longer than 3 innings. Zimmerman spent the first 7 seasons of his Major League Baseball career with the Washington Nationals, the last 5 with the Tigers. His best years came with Washington, where he posted a .332 ERA, but after signing a 5-year, $110 million deal with the Tigers in 2015, He struggled to a ballooning 5.63 ERA, a two-time All-Star. Zimmerman has recorded a career 4.06 ERA in 275 starts. The Wisconsin native had been a starter throughout his 12-year Major League Baseball career, but had begun a transition to the bullpen last season. After months of free agency, St. Louis Cardinal catcher Yadier Molina will be returning to his longtime club. The Cards and Molina are reportedly finalizing a one-year deal, ending several months of ongoing rumors regarding the negotiations between the two sides. The 38-year-old is entering his 18th season with the Cards, who drafted him out of high school in the 4th round in 2000. He debuted at the big league label in 2004 at age 21. That's pretty darn good, if you ask me. I know none of you do. Anyway, through the commercials, and then we'll have more time to do all this, because we do have a solid broadcast tonight. As you know, our scores, our sponsor, our scoreboard is sponsored by William Hill Sportsbook. Let's make it interesting, and remember, please be responsible when gambling. And if you need a little help, here in Michigan, it's 1-800-270-7177, 1-800-270-7177. And while we're at this fun little place, let's get you up and at with what's coming up tonight with Nick Rekieta, and a very interesting law explaining the interwebs. So, here we go. Hope I didn't insult anyone. What do we do? Oh, yeah. Okay. As you know, earlier we had, of course, that lovely thing going on in Washington, the second impeachment hearing of now former President Donald Trump, covered graciously by Nick Rekieta, live and in color. Well, tonight you get the breakdown of Trump's impeachment defense brief with a gentleman by the name of Good Logic. Now it's part 2 before everything else continues. So join Nick and his guests tonight for a very special Law Explaining the Interwebs, the second Trump impeachment trial recap. That's coming up tonight only on the Rekieta Law channel here on YouTube. Please feel free to watch and enjoy. My neck's a little stiff today. Of course, my cat's been lying on it. Somehow I feel like I need a good massage. Anyone know where I can get a cheap massage? Anyway, there you go, right there. We have done the impossible. We have done our 2 commercials. We got one more commercial. That is, of course, for Channel 6 here in the Lansing-Jackson area. So, let's get on with more headlines and get about 3 more headlines. Then we got some scores to get to. So, here we go, face to face. And Britt Reed has been placed on administrative leave following his involvement in a three-car accident that has left a 5-year-old girl in critical condition. A member of the Chiefs coaching staff since 2013, Britt Reed acknowledged to police that he was driving a vehicle that hit 2 other cars on Thursday, February 4th. Reed also told officers he had between 2 and 3 drinks and was on a prescription for Adderall, according to a search warrant application. Now, Reed did not coach in the Chiefs' disastrous loss to the Bucs in Super Bowl 55. The Chiefs sent a statement via KDAF, Fox 4 in Kansas City, quote, outside linebackers coach Britt Reed has been placed on administrative leave following last Thursday's multi-vehicle accident. We remain in the process of gathering information on the incident, and we will continue to assist local authorities as requested. Our focus remains on Ariel Young and her family. We have reached out to the family to offer support and resources to them during this difficult time, and we will continue to pray for her recovery. End quote. Reed's father, Chiefs head coach Andy Reid, recently said that Britt Reid underwent surgery following the accident. Andy Reid addressed the accident during Sunday's post-game press conference. Quote, via, by the way, Adam Tesher. My heart goes out to all those who were involved in the accident, in particular the family with the little girl who's fighting for her life. I can't comment on it any more than what I am here, so the questions you have, I'm going to have to turn those down, but just from a human standpoint, my heart bleeds for everyone involved in that, end quote. Reid pled guilty in 2007 to gun and drug charges stemming from a road rage dispute, which included carrying a firearm without a license. He was sentenced to 8 to 23 months in prison. He also pleaded guilty to DUI and drug charges from a separate incident later that year. What is sad? That is. Okay. We, of course, send our prayers to the family and to the Reid family as well. Okay, let's get to something a bit more our level. That happens to be the scoreboard. That's right. Time to get you the NBA scores, and we've already done the tees. So right now, let's get you to the games that are being played at this moment. Still early in the fourth quarter, Portland Trail Blazers lead the Orlando Magic 87-76. They're about to tip off for the fourth quarter. Sacramento Kings lead the Philadelphia 76ers 91-87. 5:01 left, 4:40 now left in the third. Utah Jazz lead the Boston Celtics 77-64. And in our final score little festival, the Detroit Pistons picked some nautical tickets when they beat the Brooklyn Nets 122-111. New Orleans Pelicans, a 130-101 winner over the Houston Rockets. Miami Heat, a 98-96 winner over the New York Knicks. Golden State Warriors, 114-91 winner over the San Antonio Spurs. And that, believe it or not, is all the action tonight in the NBA. And with that said, let us go forth and get you the men's scores. And we're just scratching around, folks. Okay, let's go to the college basketball scoreboard. Get you ready for some big old action you should like. By the way, while we're waiting, just want to say congratulations once again to my friend, Miss Mandy Summers, a very lovely lady who is the queen of Comicsgate. Work the Wizard, the sequel, and the remastered Work the Wizard, the original. They're getting there. I think last report they were over 2,000. And I said she would break last year's record by about $200. And I still stand by it. Somebody should tell me how much she made from the original Work the Wizard book. Okay, let's get to you all the scores right now. And I think we should perk it up just a bit, boys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, let's go to it. 14th ranked West Virginia defeated 7th ranked Texas Tech 82-71. 11th ranked Alabama over South Carolina 81-78. 13th ranked Texas over Kansas State 80-77. 19th ranked Crichton over Georgetown, 63-48. Reading this right? Yep, good. Thank you. South Alabama defeated Georgia State 76-7. Southern Utah 109-50 winner over San Diego Christian. Notre Dame a 93-89 winner over Duke. VCU a 76-67 winner over Dayton. James Madison 70-61 over Elon. Florida A&M over North Carolina Central 60-47. St. Bonaventure an 86-73 winner over LaSalle. The Qs, the Orange Men of Syracuse, defeated North Carolina State 77-68. Right? Yep. Kent State a 71-67 winner over Bowling Green. Arkansas an 81-80 winner over Kentucky. Michigan State defeated Penn State 60-58. Very tight game. Tarleton State 112-54 winner over McMurray. Auburn over Vanderbilt 73-67. Butler over St. John's in overtime. Yeah, that's St. John's of New York 76-73. ECU over Iowa State 79-76. DePaul and 5th-ranked Villanova were postponed, as was 17th-ranked Florida State against 18th-ranked Virginia Tech. Western Michigan versus Buffalo postponed. Toledo versus Northern Illinois postponed. James Madison over UNCW postponed. Akron and Ohio were postponed. Ball State and Central Michigan postponed. George Washington and Richmond postponed. Eastern Michigan, Miami, Ohio postponed. And New Mexico and Colorado State were postponed as well. Okay, so we go from one to another. Let's get to the ladies and see how they did. Yes, we'll get to the ladies. If we can do that, guys. It's just one of those things. Do 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 do. That'll help us. And it does. Okay. Oh, hi there. All right, let's get you to some ladies action. And if we can pump that up just a little bit more, folks, we can do it. Thank you. Oops. Went a little too far. One more. Thank you. Yeah. Well, no. Can we put her up back there? Thank you. Okay. Let's get to it. Austin P, a 58-45 winner over Tennessee State. Coppin State, a 57-55 winner over Delaware State. Central Connecticut State over Bryant, 61-53. St. Francis of Brooklyn over Farley Dickinson, 67-60. Southeast Missouri over Belmont, 70-66. Jacksonville State over Morehead State, 66-61. Oklahoma over Iowa State, 67-61. BYU over Pepperdine, 57-43. Mount St. Mary's and Wagner. Wow, Wagner mounted St. Mary's. Oh boy, that was a bad joke. Sorry. And Sacred Heart and St. Francis of Pennsylvania were your basic. What am I trying to say? Oh yeah, your basic postponement. How about ice hockey? How about that? Let's do some ice hockey scores. We haven't done college hockey in a while, and some things are oker. So let's get to it. Let's get some ice hockey. That's right. Sorry. Okay, no ice hockey games tonight? Nope. Well, there was one, UMass Lowell over University of Connecticut 3-2, but the others were just a little step. Okay, you ready? Only one game was played, and that was UMass Lowell and University of Connecticut. UMass Lowell defeated Connecticut 3-2. And there you go, right there. And we have hit top of the hour. It's good to hit the top of the hour. It's midnight at the Oasis. Ba, 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 ba. All right. Okay. Whew. This is going deep. Going deep. Well, let's take it to the NHL, shall we? I got a little stiff neck. Anyway, enough of all my problems. We got some scores for you in the National Hockey League. Not much news in dealing, so let's get to it. All three games are in the third quarter, or as they call it, the end of regulation. 12 minutes, 11 seconds left in the third. And it's San Jose Sharks and the LA Kings tied at 2. 14:58 remaining in third, so this game is early. Vegas Golden Knights 4, Anaheim Mighty Ducks 2. And also early in the third, Calgary Flames and the Winnipeg Jets are tied at 2. Final scores, we got them, you bet. Final scores, the Edmonton Oilers over the Ottawa Senators 3-2. Caucason for Edmonton, 40 saves. Kahara, 2 assists for Edmonton. And finally, Ottawa Dadonov got 1 goal. Florida Panthers over the Detroit Red Wings, the hapless Detroit Red Wings, 2-1. Hornqvist for Florida, 1 goal, 1 assist. Bobrovsky for Florida, 31 saves. And Ekbalad for Florida, 1 assist. Stanley Cup defending champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning over the Nashville Predators, 6-1. Sergachev for Tampa Bay, 3 assists. Stamkos for Tampa Bay, 2 goals, 1 assist. And Vasilevsky for Tampa Bay, 32 saves. Final in overtime, Linda Steele Chicago Blackhawks defeat the Dallas Stars by a score of 2-1. Ottinger for Dallas, 27 saves. Lankinen for Chicago, 34 saves. And Suter for Chicago, 1 goal. And we had a lot of postponements. Here they are. Flyers, Capitals, Penguins, Devils, Blues, Wild, and Coyotes, Avalanche. And that is your NHL scoreboard. Now, before we get some more headlines, let's take a moment and get some sports media down your throat. That's right. Time now for Media Watch. And we begin, not Media Watch, Media Bites. And we begin in Los Angeles, where Fox Sports personality Colin Cowherd, both Monday and Tuesday, with Nick Wright filling in. Hosts take days off occasionally, of course, but right after the Super Bowl, well, that's prime sports talk time. Well, Cowherd posted a video on Instagram on Tuesday night confirming that he wasn't just taking a break from work by choice during 2 of his show's biggest days of the year. Now, Colin explained that he was rushed to the emergency room after being out to dinner on Saturday night after experiencing a sharp pain on the right side of his chest, the most pain he's ever been in. X-rays determined that Coward had a small blood clot in his right lung that was limiting his breathing. He tested negative, by the way, for COVID-19 twice. Coward had said, quote, I was put up into a room and I was pretty much knocked out with the morphine, a narcotic, for 16 to 18 hours. I watched the Super Bowl, took notes, but at that point, I was just exhausted. We'll you go through the text here. Hi, everybody. Many of you have inquired and wonder why I wasn't on the show Monday or Tuesday after the Super Bowl, which is obviously as big a days as I have as a broadcaster. So I thought I needed to come front and center with what happened. Saturday night, I was having dinner with my wife and I had a sharp pain under my right pec. I knew it wasn't my heart, it was my right side, but it was the most pain I think I've ever been in. I called a friend. 4 minutes later, his car swooped in from the restaurant, grabbed me. We ran through a few red lights and got to the emergency room at Torrance Memorial. From there, thinking it was COVID, I was rushed to the emergency room in incredible pain, and I was tested for COVID. It wasn't COVID. I was put up into a room, and I was pretty much knocked out with morphine, a narcotic, for 16 to 18 hours. I watched Super Bowl, took notes, but at that point, I was exhausted. They found through the x-rays that I had a small blood clot in my right lung. It was limiting my breathing. Again, it was scary. Good news, they tested me again for COVID. I didn't have it. I'm waiting for some blood work. I have no idea why it happened. I've been doing a lot of skiing, high altitude, and traveling. That could be it. We don't know. I'll find out in a few days. But thank you for your patience. I apologize for not being there on the biggest days of the year for my show. The staff's been amazing. The support from Fox Sports and iHeartRadio has been unbelievable. I mean, really touching. I'm going to be back on the air as soon as I can. I went for a 30-minute walk today, which is amazing considering where I was 48 hours ago. I had a massage today to increase blood circulation. I'm doing all I can. I'm attacking this. I'll be back soon. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. And I just want to thank everybody for the support. It's been an incredibly touching. It's been an emotional couple of days. Thanks. So it's unclear how long Cowherd will be absent from his show, but that's, of course, secondary to his health right now. It's good to hear that he's at least made considerable progress over the last 48 hours, and hopefully he can get healthy and return to his show soon. And all of us here at Sports Final wish him well, we usually would say speedy recovery, but in this case, a slow, comfortable one. Well, the folks at Bell Media, oh boy, is that a media company in a mess. It started with the gutting of 210 employees, the destruction of 2 entire newsrooms, one in Toronto and the other in Vancouver, I do believe. Let me get that properly right, shall we? Okay, let me just get it right. All right. Okay, let's hit the deck, shall we? Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Montreal. Thank you, guys. Montreal, CJAD 800 News Talk Radio, and Radio 1010, which are News Talk Radio 1010, which I do believe, for those of us that remember those 2 little numbers, CFRB was 1010. And wow, the purge continued. And let's begin the begging. We give you the righteousness. Talk radio station, the CJAD newsroom has been shut down by its owner, Bell Media. On the TV side, Bell Media is also cutting CTV News. At least 2 uniformed union members lost their jobs on Monday. The multitasking cameraman and the engineer that was representative have been fired, union spokesman Olivia Carrier said. Among the branches, the production of CJAD's evening news bulletins is now understood to be handled by CTV News broadcast managers. But here's the thing. That was a couple of days ago, I do believe. Tonight, oh, wow. Tonight, if you're in Vancouver, Winnipeg, and Hamilton, last couple of weeks have seen massive cuts from Canadian telecom company Bell Media, the parent of CTV and TSN, including longtime TSN figures from Dan O'Toole to famed producer Tim, to Natasha Stanzowski, Christian Jack, and Brett Wallace. Earlier today, Bell made some of their biggest sports cuts yet, shutting down their sports radio stations in Vancouver, TSN 1040, Winnipeg, TSN 1290, and Hamilton, TSN 1150. Those stations suddenly just started playing music, or in the case of Hamilton's TSN 1150, BBN Bloomberg Radio, as Steve Fagui of the Montreal Gazette noted, said, quote, Bell is apparently pulling the plug on TSN stations in Hamilton and Vancouver. Unclear if they're being replaced with something else or just going off the air. Yeah. One of the people from XYZ Sports Media said, breaking carnage at Bell continues. Entire radio stations this time. TSN 1040, TSN 1050, and the 1290 as well, and 690. Well, 1290. Well, among stations eliminated, very sad day, more coming. Meanwhile, Toronto's TSN station and the Montreal TSN station remains on the air. Meanwhile, TSN 1040 is playing a loop of music, while TSN 1150 is BNN Bloomberg. Scott Brown, the Vancouver Sun, has more on how this played out on Vancouver's TSN 1040. Quote, Tuesday started off like any other day at TSN 1040 with morning hosts Mike Halford and Jason Brose signing on at 6 a.m. However, listeners knew something major was about to happen after TSN 1040's Twitter account was deactivated, and the third hour of Halford and Bro was yanked and replaced with sports radio programming from ESPN. Listeners were then told an announcement on the future of TSN 1040 would be made at 9:30 in the morning. A recorded announcement that played on that station 9:30 stated that a new format for CKST would be announced on Friday at 7 a.m. Quote, this was a difficult decision, but the reality of the quickly evolving broadcast media landscape in Canada have made this change unavoidable. We want to thank our on-air personalities, advertising partners, and sponsors, and everyone who's contributed to this station. But especially, we want to thank you, our listeners. End quote. There was more. But the announcement was followed by the song Good Riddance by Green Day. Again, we do not have the rights to air the audio from TSN 1040, so we read the text. Steve Ewan of the province reported that people in the 1040 in the building that houses AM 1040 didn't know what was going on when that announcement played. Being told the message that played on TSN 1040 this morning about no longer being a sports station came out of Toronto, and people in the building weren't aware of what was happening until they started getting texts from listeners about it. They couldn't have done this last night. And in Hamilton, Marshall Ferguson was set to host his afternoon show with Kylie Mello as usual, and, well, here you go. Marshall Ferguson's Twitter page said at first, we're live 2 to 3 p.m. today with plenty of CFL guests and analysts. Then it was updated and said just one thing, at Old Takes Exposed. Meanwhile, John Hodge of 3 Down Nation tweeted that he texted a TSN radio employee condolences, and that was the first news the employee got of this. John Hodge's Twitter said, quote, just texted a TSN radio employee to say I was sorry to hear the news. Their response, what news? Ugh. Of course, my statement, oi. Paul Friesen, Winnipeg Sun, had a similar report. His Twitter, quote, texted one of the guys at TSN 1290 just now. Hadn't received a call or email, quote, none of us know what is going on. Where's everybody seeing or hearing this, end quote. Now, here are the official statements on TSN's website about the different stations, Vancouver, Winnipeg, and Hamilton. As Kyle Cushman noted, the Vancouver and Winnipeg statements are identical with no information on what's coming next, while Hamilton doesn't even include the boilerplate I view, but is rather a welcome. TSN 1150 is now BNN Bloomberg Radio 1150. We are proud to launch the newest BNN Bloomberg radio station in Hamilton. Now here's more from Brown on how 1040 employees were finally called by management and then told they had 30 minutes to gather their belongings. In a conference call with affected staff Tuesday morning, James Stewart Hewson, Bell Media's Western Regional General Manager, told TSN 1040 staff that the decision to close the station came after years of, quote, major losses, unquote, and the ongoing high costs of producing sports radio content. Quote,
unfortunately, the future broadcast outlook doesn't have any good news on the horizon for us. The conclusion was that we cannot continue to operate TSN radio into this market, end quote.
Hewson told stunned staff. It is not known at this time just how many jobs have been cut in Vancouver, but Hewson said Bell Media's Human Resources Department would be reaching out to every TSN 1040 staff member. Quote, yeah, it's important for you to understand in terms of what your separation package looks like, and all the details are included with it. Before announcing conclude with it, said Hewson, before announcing that staff had 30 minutes to collect personal items before corporate security implemented a shutdown process. I think what he meant was this. Actually, I think he meant this. Excuse me, but you all got 30 minutes to collect all your items, and if you want to steal something from the office, please do, before we send our security to come and kick your ass out. I will do so as fast as possible. Goose stepping. As for what's coming in Vancouver and Winnipeg, the Athletics' Ian Mendez had this bon mot on his Twitter page. Sounds like later this week, Bell Media will announce the TSN stations in Winnipeg and Vancouver will be altered to their funny format. That's using stand-up comedy and other content. Well, Rob Williams of the Daily Hive, more on that from an internal Bell memo, and here it is in quotes. And I'll do it in a funny voice. In an internal email sent to staff, Bell Media President Wade Osterman said that 1040 will transition to a funny format, offering stand-up comedy content. The adjustments we're making to some of our radio stations this week offer a good example of Bell Media's readiness to change when it's right for the business, especially when our costs are too high to justify where we simply have a better model to serve a given marketplace. Later this week, we'll also transition TSN radio stations in Winnipeg and Vancouver to our funny format, which has already proven highly successful in markets like Hamilton and Calgary with its stand-up comedy content. And the full memo from Daily Hive and Rob Williams. Well, we've already done that. And the full memo, we'll read that in something. Meanwhile, the first two paragraphs of the Vancouver-Winnipeg farewells on TSN sites, quoting from the Winnipeg one, the only change in Vancouver is the station ID and frequency. We have some news to share today about changes to our programming. CFRW 1290 will no longer be a sports talk radio station. It was a difficult decision, but the realities of the quickly evolving broadcast media landscape in Canada have made this change unavoidable. Yeah. It's a really quickly evolving broadcast media landscape when you pull 3 radio stations off the air without even telling their employees first, much less providing any signal to listeners that this was coming. And that stinks. That's not good radio. It's not good business. Even if there was some good reason to kill these stations, and that's far from established, it would have been so much better if they had made the announcement with some notice to give personalities a chance to do some final shows and say on-air goodbyes. For an example of how this could have been done better, compare San Francisco sports radio station KNBR 2019 takeover of famed music station KFOG's frequency as an FM repeater of their main AM frequency. That move still drew a lot of criticism, but it was done with 2 weeks of public notice, providing a time for a lot of KFOG memories and tributes. A midday, mid-show move like Bell's is worse on so many levels, especially with that not even be communicated to their employees. That's been a trend for them lately. Dan O'Toole indicating that, quote, he only found out Wednesday was his last show after that fact. Well, this is a huge blow to the Canadian sports media landscape, and it seems set to dramatically reduce the amount of local sports talk in several markets. Vancouver has a competing all-sports station in Sportsnet 650. Winnipeg does not. 680 job carries some sports, including the NHL's Jets, which they only recently acquired from TSN 1290, and the CFL's Blue Bombers, but is mostly a news talk station. Hamilton, well, they don't have another all-sports station, although news station 900, Chimmel, CHML, carries some sports, and Sportsnet, the Fan 590 from Toronto, is nearby. But these stations in Vancouver, Winnipeg, and Hamilton were important for many, especially CFL fans. All 3 had rights to their local CFL team games, and all 3 regularly talked CFL outside of games, something that the Sportsnet radio stations in Canada don't often do. So that's a big blow to the league and its fans on the opening day of the CFL free agency, no less. And it's also worth noting that this comes shortly after Bell's annual #Bell Let's Talk campaign to promote mental health, an incongruity many, including Dan O'Toole, pointed out amidst their earlier cuts. The company's donations there are impressive, but it then doesn't look great for them to turn around and axe a ton of their employees, 210 by the Hollywood Reporter count last week. The count seems to have risen since then, and that's especially true when the company itself took major federal funding last year and boosted its dividend to its shareholders, as 3 Now Nation's Drew Edwards noted last week. And the company's the fourth quarter net earnings were just fine. Net earnings increased 28.9% to $932 million in quarter 4, with net earnings attributable to common shareholders of $889 million, or 98 cents per common share. They drew the 3rd most Canadian viewers ever for a Sunday Super Bowl, by the way. We'll get to our ratings in a bit. As for some context on how 1040 TSN in particular was doing, let's go to some ratings. TSN was right up there, was in first. Sportsnet 650 was. So TSN 1040 numbers weren't great, but they were comfortably ahead of the competition. And that's in the only one, that is in the only one of these three markets where they had competition. And the fourth quarter last year is particularly weird as it came with no NHL thanks to the pandemic shifted schedule, no CFL thanks to the postponed season, two key sources of talk for those stations. There are, however, still existing TSN radio stations in Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, and Toronto. The latter three of those have local NHL rights, but Edmonton does not. 630 CHUD does. Their future also looks a little more uncertain in the wake of this decision. Bell Media, the bloodbath continues, and I have a feeling there's more to come. Very, very disgraceful implementation. Speaking of ratings, as we were just a few moments ago, let's give you the big ratings of the big match that actually wasn't. Maybe they should have allowed Nickelodeon to simulcast the way they did for the one wild card game that CBS did. Well, according to CBS, the game drew 96.4 million viewers over broadcast, digital, mobile, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Deportes. Last year's game on Fox drew 102 million across all those properties, with Spanish language version airing on Fox Deportes. This marks an overall decline of roughly 5%. Now, on CBS alone, the game reportedly drew 91.63 million viewers. Last year's game on Fox drew 99.9 million, marking a decline of 8% for the year. Here's another little bon mot. The NFL's regular season package of games was down 7% for the season, and it also continues a remarkable decline across championship events over the last year in all sports due to the pandemic, with the NBA Finals, NHL Stanley Cup Final, World Series, and college football playoffs all hitting historic or close to historic lows since the fall. Super Bowl 55's decline isn't as steep, but the broadcast-only numbers still hit a 15-year low. Super Bowl XL, which is extra large, or 50, Steelers Seahawks drew 90.75 million viewers on ABC in 2006. This is also the fifth decline in 6 years for the Super Bowl since the Pats Seahawks Classic in 2019 topped out with over 114 million viewers in 2015. Now, last year's game on Fox increased from 2019's Patriots-Rams tilt, but this year's decline more than made up for that increase. Now, it's important to note that despite the overall disappointment for the game's viewership, this is still going to rank somewhere in the top 20 of most watched American TV broadcasts of all times on one network, along with 18 other Super Bowls and the series finale of MASH. It will also be the most watched sporting event of the year and the most watched television program of the year. Now, for whatever it's worth, this game did emphasize the need for a tight, entertaining Super Bowl. In the first half, Kansas City went down 8 in the second quarter for about a minute before Tampa Bay scored to make it a 15-point halftime deficit. Chiefs cut it to 12 for 3 minutes before the Bucs just took it all and ran with it. Last year's game was tied at halftime, and the 49ers didn't go up 2 scores until the end of the third quarter. There was plenty of drama. There was plenty of excitement in the fourth quarter. Next year, Super Bowl 56 is scheduled to air February 6 on NBC and will take place from the new SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. It'll be NBC's first Super Bowl since 2018, thanks to a swap with CBS, giving them this year's game in exchange for next year's game leading into the Winter Olympics on NBC. And this could also be the final Super Bowl broadcast for Al Michaels. He'll be 77 for the SoFi Stadium hosted game, with the new TV contracts kicking in after the 2022 NFL season. It remains to be seen when NBC's next Super Bowl broadcast will take place. So as they say, stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned. You don't know what's coming up, don't you? Well, We do. That's right. We're going to talk NASCAR now. Get you updated on the old, good old Mars because it was and is Daytona Speed Weeks. That's right. Yeehaw. And it all began with the Busch Clash. Tonight it was on FS1 as usual. The race is the 14th, Mother's Day. No, Valentine's Day. Almost said Mother's Day, but it's on Valentine's Day, so there's going to be more racing, and of course the biggie Daytona 500, and of course there's the Twin 125s, which will set the they'll set the what are they called? They'll set the pole. There you go for the big race Sunday the 14th. Kyle Busch scored a dramatic preseason victory Tuesday night in the non-points race, the Busch Clash, avoiding a crash between front-runners Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott to kick off NASCAR Cup Series season with the annual exhibition game held for the first time at the Daytona International Speedway Roval, which is the road and oval course. There you go. Busch led only last 35 laps in the number 18 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota, winning the Clash for the second time. The exhibition race marked the first victory for new crew chief Ben Beshore. Defending Cup Series champion Chase Elliott placed second, driving away from contact with Blaney in the final chicane. Joey Logano finished third with Tyler Reddick and William Byron rounding out the top five. Wild, wasn't it? Yes, it was. And there you go. There you go. There's our NASCAR report. Now, what is the schedule of Speed Weeks this week? Let's figure that out, shall we? I think we shall. Then we'll get to the scoreboard, shout-outs, and anything we forgot. Let's see. There you go. Thursday, February 11th, which will be are you sure of this? No, let's see. Wednesday, February 10th. First practice for NASCAR Cup Series at 12:05. You can see that on FS1 and hear it on the Motor Racing Network. 7:30 p.m. You got qualifying for NASCAR, Fox Sports 1 and Motor Racing Network. Thursday on the NASCAR website, inspection. First practice, the Camping World Truck Series at 5:35 on FS1. Cup Series Blue Green Vacation Duels at Daytona, and that's when they set the polls. 7 p.m. live coverage on FS1 and the Motor Racing Network. Friday, February the 12th, you've got first practice for the Menards ARCA race. Then Camping World Truck Series at 3:10 on FS1. Xfinity Series first practice, FS1 on 4:35. Next Star Energy 250, the Camping World Truck Series, starts up at 7:30 on FS1, the Racing Network. Saturday, it's the ARCA Menard Series qualifying. NASCAR will have 9:30. The second practice, that'll be on FS2, along with the Xfinity Series. Qualifying coverage starts on FS2, but switches to FS1 at 11 a.m. Final practice for NASCAR Cup Series at 12:05, FS1, the Motor Racing Network. Then the ARCA Menard Series race, Lucas Oil 200 on FS1 at 1:30, followed by the Xfinity Series race Beef, It's What's for Dinner 300 on FS1. And then you got Daytona 500, 2:30 on the Big Rock Daddy Fox. And with that said, we go to where the grass is green and the friends are there. That's right, it's time for our hellos. Now, no, we're going to go over time because we're having too much fun. So, Here we go. Let me check the messages. I got a message here. Wow. I got a message. Oh, that's got a little pain in the butt. Okay. All right. Let's say hi to my mom and the person that owns this chalet, Sharon Baxley, the cat Uno. Rebecca, how you doing? Jay the Marine Man, Anne-Marie Man, Yuki Tanaka. Of course, we say hi to Matthew Nichols, Sherry Nichols, Nancy Nichols, Bobby Langford, Darren Brown, Paul Anthony Slowinski, Mark Wilson, Claire Flannery, James Murphy, Lashaway Lance, Matt Zivich, Silvahara Petian, Peggy Ann Bige, Joseph Yusuf Diaz, Hilda Clark Bowen, Stephen Rivera, Jamie D, Etan G, the Jewish rapper, Rob Gibson, Tyke Prado, Danielle Wilcox Ravs, Amanda Wojcicki, Brutal Metzler, Regina Lewis, and referee Russ Kimball. Of course, January J. Keaton, Brenda Dickinson. I'm going to get that name one more time right. Brenda Dixon, Brenda Gaminsky, Brendan Hoffman, Brendan Nolan, Brendan Butter, Mark Boone, Yvonne Marie, Ricky Pickerel, Michael Pickerel, Tony Pickerel. Yep. Who else do we say hola to? We also say hola. Ooh, we got a little breaking news. Thank you. The Dallas Mavericks have announced that they will no longer play the national anthem before the games, becoming the first NBA team and the first sports team to do that. We'll have more on their decision tomorrow here on Sports Final. But to repeat one more time, the Dallas Mavericks have announced that they will no longer be playing the national anthem before games, thus becoming the first NBA team, the first sports team to, for want of a better word, ban the national anthem. Wow. That's about all I can tell. Wow. I can't wait to find out their reason. It better be a good one. Okay, Joseph Radcliffe, how you doing, dude? And by the way, another breaking news story. The Detroit Lions have added yet another superstar to their new staff, and he is a former Pittsburgh Steeler. That's right. According to Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network, the Lions will be hiring Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive assistant Antoine Randall L. as a wideout coach. The move will be a promotion for Randall L., who worked on the Tampa Bay staff and will now get to be a position coach in Detroit. That comes after a notable playing career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So repeating one more time, former Pittsburgh Steeler and former Pittsburgh Steeler player and now former Tampa Bay Buccaneer offensive assistant Antoine Randall L. Reportedly will be hired by the Detroit Lions as their wide receivers coach.
Randall L. joins the Lions after spending time learning the ropes under Bruce Arians and the Buccaneers staff. He'll come to Detroit fresh off the Super Bowl 55 title, and the hope is he can use what he's learned with a solid offense there to help the Lions be even better on that side of the ball. So we will have more on that story tomorrow as well. So we have got a very, very busy day ahead of us tomorrow. For the rest of us, we want to say hi to Claudia Treos, Kellyanne Collins, Mandy Summers, Wyatt Holliday, Peter Gilmore, all the folks involved in Comicsgate, Fizz Giggity, and a whole lot of my friends. Want to say hello to my relatives as well. Hello to my friends also on Twitter, Gab Social, Minds, and TikTok and Instagram. Okay, do we have time to do some scoreboard? Okay, let's get to the scoreboard quickly. We are really going over time here. Wow, we're supposed to be off the air about 10 minutes ago. But we've had breaking news and everything else, so let's get on board. Oh, I want to say also hello to Alex Sims, Audrey Dahlgren, Nick Mantis, and Ian Kress. There you go. I say hello to all my friends, including my friends over at Fox 26 in Houston. Okay, I think we've done that. So let's get the scoreboard up, and then we will be done. In the La Liga in Spain, Real Madrid got. Let's try that again slowly. Real Madrid beat Getafe 2-0. In Spanish basketball, the ACB league, Morabanc Andorra defeated Obradoro CAB 90-71. In Swedish hockey, it was Djurgårdens 4, Malmo 3. Let's get to the baseball, and then we complete this rather uniquely expandable edition of our broadcast tonight. And we'll do a quick update if we can. In Australia, the ABL playoffs, Canberra defeated Sydney 3-2, and we got a little time left. Let's give an update on how things are going over with What the Wizard, the sequel, the Portal of Echoes, plus the reimagined first What the Wizard. But you're going to love this. $2,950, 27 days left, 37 backers. And we want to say congratulations, good luck to my friend Mandy Summers. She as well as others, creative folks, as I've said many times, and I still repeat it because it is true. Stan Lee, were he alive today, and there's a little Stan Lee in all of us, including in Mandy Summers and Peter Gilmore, John Malin, and others. Stan Lee would love these guys and gals, and the new blood that has single-handedly saved the comics industry from a certain demise. They are the new blood. They are the new wave of comic book creators, artists, publishers, and they deserve not only our praise and our applause. When they bring up something new, I would love to see everyone back it. And I mean back it. Go to Indiegogo.com, look up Wart the Wizard, the Portal of Echoes,
And I want to see everybody back this. This is very good. If you haven't seen Wart the Wizard, and before we sanguine into that night, I mean, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of great, talented people. This the what do I need? No, that's calendar. Come on, I got hankering. Oh, there it is. Let me just show you one more time. You guys pump me up here. Pump, 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 pump. Okay. I want to show you once again, folks. I know we're over 10 minutes. We're over 10 minutes. That's okay. We're 10 minutes over. That's all right. This will be first. This is Wart the Wizard. It is done by created, written, illustrated, colored, lettered by Mandy Summers. And this is the original, and I want you to see the inside of this. Might be a little hard. We're working with one camera. And next week, folks, we're bringing you weather reports too. So I want you to see some of the good artwork here. Now there's going to be a remastering of this first volume, and we'll just show you some of her good artwork here. And I say good artwork. Peter Gilmore is the artist in the remaster. Is going to be the artist in the remastered version that you can also get as well when you back it. There you go. Some of the good artwork, and let's read this a little bit without spoiling any of the Archimedes. And of course, right here is the lady herself, Mandy Summers. That's right. There's Mandy Summers right there. Very lovely young lady from Alabama. Okay, is this the no, that's the calendar. It's my calendar. I mean, okay. I know we're running out of time. Listen, I know we're running out of time. I'm the person that figures it out. So, oh, there it is. Okay, let me put this back up in its placing. And here's some other raw materials right there. So once again, let me give you the address-a-vous. It is Wart the Wizard, the Portal of Echoes. Go to Indiegogo.com. Look up Wart the Wizard, the Portal of Echoes, and they got 27 days left. I want to see this go literally. I hate to quote the late great Jerry Lewis during the telethon years, but he would always ask for $1 more when he used to do the telethon for muscular dystrophy on Labor Day. For Wart the Wizard, the Portal of Echoes, I made this prediction. I said she was going to break the final total of her first book, which was Wart the Wizard, and I already showed you that, by $200. I want to see that number, $29.50. I want to see that go literally through the roof. And if you're watching me from places beyond, Indiegogo, that's INDIEGOGO.com, Wart the Wizard, the Portal of Echoes. I want you guys and gals to back it. It's pretty damn good. And let's see her break the mark she set when she did the original Wart the Wizard comic book. She's good at what she does, and so is Peter Gilmore. John Malin, and other folks, other artists. These are the new men and women who literally given their blood, sweat, and tears. They are the new creative light that will save and continue the comic book legacy laid out by people like Stan Lee. So if you don't mind, please, if you love comic books, you will, and I hope you do this. I'm not kidding. Give me a like, guys. Whoa, that's a bit. I'm serious. I'm going to get me one of those lights that I can put up behind here so I don't have to worry about this. But let's keep that light of creativity shining. And I mean, these folks here, like Mandy Summers, I've already mentioned people's names, are the new blood that has continued to breathe life into an industry that was all but literally on its last breath. So please do me a favor, back this and many other comic books, because you are helping bring a new breath, a new life to an industry that is so desperately in need of new creativity, new blood, a new vision, while still maintaining the rich history of people like Stan Lee and others, including the folks who gave us Mad Magazine, who gave us Batman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, and of course, dare we say it, Superman. And with that said, we are done for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow night at 11:35 p.m. Eastern Time when we do sports and delve into more subjects. So we hope you enjoy. We really have gone over from what my little clock here says. 1 hour and 17 minutes. And all I got to say is, if there's anything I forgot, don't worry. We'll do sports leftovers tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for taking time and making us feel good. And please tell your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, your pets that there's a sports show that does not follow the rules of sports programming. We can't follow the rules. Let me, can I have a prop here? Oh, okay. Okay, might as well use this. You see, this here's the book of rules on how to do a sportscast. We throw the book out. We make our own rules. We make this a fun show, an unpredictable show, and I'm glad you all watch it and enjoy it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports. I am Steve the Backsman Baxley. In 1 hour and 18 minutes, we have done a show, and it wasn't bad. Thank you, everybody. Good night. God bless. And as always, blessings and be well. Good night, everybody.